Now to understand the likely impact these tariffs, potential tariffs, could have and the exposure that Indian companies have to the US.
Latest update that has come in where Trump made some comments coming in on the pharmaceutical space, saying that they will be announcing tariffs in the near future and not the distant future. And because of that, we're seeing pharma stocks are in focus today. Now, let's take a recap of what is currently charged by India on US. So, India charges 10% tariff on pharma imports. US currently is not charging any import duty on the products for Indian category and Indian companies. So, yes, as of now, the charge is nil. Now, what Trump wants to charge them with a reciprocal tariff on this front. So, it will be 10% or more than that. That's something that we're keeping an eye out on. What is the risk and who is at risk in terms of pharma companies? The main risk comes in for generic formulation players and CMO players in the pharma space, which is at the highest risk. The exposure of US generic companies is quite high to Indian companies to US generics is quite high, and that is why we will see that impact coming in. One-time hit in terms of EBITDA that we could see coming in, a negative impact would be around 9 to 12%. This is according to what we have a note coming in from Citi. Now, obviously, let's talk about the exposure. Gland Pharma has an exposure of 50%. So, the impact on its EBITDA would be in the range of 8 to 10%. Aurobindo Pharma, 48% exposure to the US, and that would be in the range of 12 to 13%, I beg your pardon, in terms of the hit on the EBITDA front. Dr. Reddy's in the 10 to 12% range, 47% exposure there. Zydus, 46% exposure, so 8 to 10%. Lupin, Cipla, Sun Pharma and Torrent Pharma, a lesser exposure is what they have, and the impact on the EBITDA is lower. Now, why is that so? Because these companies have facilities in the US. Cipla, Dr. Reddy's, Lupin, Syngene, Piramal Pharma, Sai Life Sciences, all of these have exposure, means in terms of facilities that they have in the US, and that is why they're already set up in terms of the facility there. So maybe they could start importing from that facility. Instead of importing from India, you can sell from those facilities, which doesn't charge as much duty as what it would be charged from the Indian manufacturing facility if imported there. And that is why lesser impact on these companies on the EBITDA front as well.
Thank you very much for that. To take the discussion forward,